All praises to the Most High. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, whom some call Sophia, and our brother Yahweh Shah. Mishpachah, we know that we are at the end because the only thing these devils can do is rage and make false accusations. So, tonight is our Wednesday. We come together in the spirit. Brother Moriel and myself, we do our lesson. Our brother Big Judah just uploaded a lesson. And lo and behold, who's in the midst of the nation? A devil. Now, we're about to show how unlearned and stupid these heathens truly are. Now, let's just get right into it. Here he is right here. The everlasting river. Yeah, history shows that everywhere you went around the world, you left rivers of blood, not rivers of righteousness. Now, let's show how ignorant this demon is. Are you part of that cult, the Panther Hebrews, or whatever it's called? Now he's mocking on purpose. He knows who we are. He knows that we are the sons and daughters of the Most High. So he's not coming over here trying to learn. He's coming over here just to be a deceiver. Now, let's continue through the thread. I rebuked them. Now, this right here, you can tell when people like their own posts immediately. That's a cornball move. Let the spirit move through the people to show that your words are worthy. Now, I rebuked them. Be quiet, heathen. I spelled it Hewthen. Take note of that. Every word spoken against us will facilitate your destruction. Then our sister Bernadette went in. They don't even know, beloved teacher, that their days are numbered exactly. And about an hour ago, I put this devil is about to get cut. Now, I should be preparing for the lesson this evening, but these heathens, they're really getting out of pocket with this madness. We can't even come together and study and worship in peace. But notice how they never have anything to say about all the wickedness and abominable acts that go on in their church. And then he goes in about the name Yahweh Shai, which was in the Blue Letter Bible, but I think they took it out because I knew how to find it in there. But now when I go back, I cannot find it. Now here comes the confusion. I have Cherokee blood in my veins, so according to your teachings, I'm part of your clan. You don't know our teachings. And once again, this is the fault of the camps by pushing that chart, allowing all of these devils, demons, and reprobates into the congregation. And they still won't touch the trans-Pacific slave trade, how these Asians were brought over here and mixed with the Northern Kingdom and came up with all these other groups of people now all of a sudden are part of the 12 tribes. We're still waiting for you to touch that. But I digress. That's a lesson for another day. As for the Blue Letter Bible, I own my own hardback. So do I. So do I. I'm not impressed, as well as the missing books that the Catholic religion took out. So before you start judging, now when did I judge them? I just called a spade a spade. And this is what they always do. When they can't deal with the points, they come with these weak attacks. before you start judging, maybe you should check yourself first and don't be a hypocrite. You are a fucking devil. It was your people that judged us alone on the basis of our skin color. We couldn't even walk down the street. Well, I have Cherokee blood. Are you a $5 Dawes Roll Indian? These bywords don't work over here. Either you're a sheep or you're a goat. You're of Yasharala or you're a heathen of the other nation. And the Gentiles are our people also. Because you know he believes that, because this is a Christian. He's ignorant, he's stupid, he's unlearned. And once again, he's naive. I went to his channel. His lessons are weak. He doesn't have the Ruach. He really doesn't have anything to put forth. These devils still think that they're in authority. And they still think that they can come over here and wag their tongue against us, proving that he's a dog. Now, I commented again. I said, we on a camp, so your own comments condemn you. None of us adheres to that false chart. As for you being Cherokee, your spirit reeks of a $5 Dawes Roll recipient. And this one really irked me. Then I responded again, this devil's about to get cut. That's why I'm doing this quick lesson right now. And once again, I go into the name being in the BLB online, but they took it out. Then that's a repetitive. Yeah, for some reason, YouTube, the comments, they've been doubling up just to cause confusion. Let's go further down. Now, this one right here shows its hypocrisy. I'm not the one who's been brainwashed with hatred. I'm only trying to understand how you misread the Holy Scriptures and think that it's only for Black Americans. When did we ever say that? See, they come over to our channels after hearing all these Negroes on the corners screaming and yelling and thinking that we're all the same. Now, I'm only trying to understand. If he was trying to come and understand with a sincere spirit, he wouldn't have came in the door mocking and scoffing. Oh, it reminds me of Black Muslims and their false teachings. I don't care about Islam. Stay on topic. We keep telling these heathens that the Bible has nothing to do with them, but for some reason, they cannot get it. Then I told him I'll deal with him in a minute. Heathen. My choice of word spelling shows you lack discernment. I spell heathen Hewthen. Anybody with half a brain, seeing how I spell, my capital, everything is capitalized, my period is there. I even have a comma, which means my grammar is pretty decent. I spell it this way to get around the algorithm because they give devils like you cover on these social media platforms. On TikTok, you can't even type the word Negro without it getting a strike, even from a historical standpoint. That's why you really can't talk about the delectable Negro on that platform. They will pull those videos down in a minute. And the ones that do speak on it, do trust. They are mumbling that N-word, the delectable, because we already know. Because they give these Gentiles cover to hide behind these social media platforms and spew their racist rhetoric. And I responded again, you never heard us say that. You are a liar, just like your father, the devil. And then, of course, our brother Judah said something. Show me where only the white man is allowed to teach the Bible. Show where the Most High said the white man can limit the Bible to 66 books, break down Revelation 6 and 8. If you don't answer my questions, you'll be blocked. And then the brother goes on to say, look at a video over a year ago with 12 views, and you think you can teach me anything. And that's what you demons don't understand. You can't come over here and teach us anything when the same book that you pretend to believe in clearly states in the Old Testament and the Apocrypha, because this devil has the wisdom of Solomon on his channel. He's professing to read other books. Man, you came to the wrong spot talking about other books because you're about to get cut. The books clearly state that the understanding was only given to Jacob. You're not Jacob. Regardless of what these camps tell you, you're not Jacob, you're not Ephraim, you're not the southern kingdom, you're not the northern kingdom. You are a heathen. Hewthen, the way I choose to spell it. You are a heathen. And our brother goes on to state, your whole religion is about not paying for the racist society that you enjoy, that your forefathers created for them and you. That's Christianity. That's white Jesus. We get to go across the globe, commit all types of atrocities against everybody, including their own people, then call on this sweet white Jesus, hope for a rapture, and not have to face recompense or punishment. All I do is expose the racism, and I'm racist, make it make sense. Then Brother Moriel hopped in. Are you part of the heathen Christian cult? Is not Jebus, aka Jesus, a false name made up by the heathens? How about your history? Do you take accountability for your forefathers' sins? You come here to scoff and mock our ways, thinking you are looking down when you are looking up at us. Exactly, because they're spittle. They are beneath us. The Most High said that we are above all nations. If Yasharallah is above all nations, that means the rest of Psalms 83 would be beneath us. So that comment right there is accurate from a biblical standpoint. Well, heathen, you gets no play here, just another beast of the European trying to sway the truth, but you are really in dismay of what you hear from us today. So slither back to your channel and country, a target of decay. Exactly. Babylon is fallen. Mystery Babylon is under judgment after we did our 400-year sentence. That's why nothing has been the same for these reprobates since 2019. And they know it and they can feel it. I just recorded a video the other day, sent it to one of my sisters. Where I live at, my street is long. There's only 3 houses that have Christmas decorations. The rest of my neighborhood is dark. The mirth is gone from Babylon. It's over. But yet you still got these devils over here. Well, you were part of a cult. Man, y'all have bigger things to worry about than what we believe. The days of you shoving white Jesus and Constantine Christianity down our throats are over. We are no longer asleep. The Most High has turned his face back to his people. For it's Jacob time to reign righteously. Exactly. Exactly. No longer being lied to by the heathen lies. So cry as a river, heathen, for you are not worthy to stay as the clock ticks down, and you and all your people will be swept away. Heathen, be gone like roaches to raid. Exactly. They've been getting swept away by water, swamped by mudslides, entire cities burnt down, and all type of heinous judgments. Where's your Jesus? Where's your rapture? Oh, we had it wrong. We should have been using the Ethiopian Bible. Actually, it's like another, 13, 14 years from now. You don't have that long. You do not have that long. Judgment is on your heads. Now, as for him calling us a cult, let's bring out these scripts. Since he loves the BLB, Let's go to Acts 24:5 and Acts 24:14 in the NLT. We have found this man to be a troublemaker who is constantly stirring up riots among the Jews all over the world. He is a ringleader of the cult known as the Nazarenes. So you've been calling us cult followers since the days of Yahushua. So that's nothing new. These people can't grow in the spirit. That's why all of their talking points and rhetoric, it's all the same. And this shows that this devil does not read. Let's go to verse 14. But I admit that I follow the way which they call the cult. That's fine, because we are the culture. I worship the power of our ancestors. That would be Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not Cesare Borgia, not Jebus of White. And I firmly believe the Israelite law, because we know we aren't Ish. And I firmly believe the Israelite law and everything written in the prophets. So we're about to go to the prophets of the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. Now let's see if he actually believes in the words of the prophets. Are we about to go to 1 Nephi 13, 26 through 30? And after they go forth by the hand of the 12 apostles of the Lamb from the Jews unto the Gentiles, thou seest the formation of that great and abominable church, which is most abominable above all other churches. For behold, they have taken away from the gospel of the Lamb many parts which are plain and most precious, and also many covenants of the Most High have they taken away. This is why we have all these Bible variants around here, where if you take away one word, it changes the entire dynamic of prophecy. And we've been saying for years, who gave these heathens authority to transliterate our text? Now, we know they got it from Eleazar when it was given to Ptolemy, and that's how they came up with the Greek Septuagint. And we proved yesterday in the lesson that I did, once again, we see these demons in the spirit before they even arrive. To the point where now, if everybody denying that the Ruach is she, you aren't even worthy to be here. Because the prophet Ezra said that books will be given to the worthy and the unworthy. If you're still on that 3 sausages in a roll nonsense, that male with no feminine energy, just go have a seat. Because your doctrines will always be wayward and easy to dismantle. But let's continue to read. And all this have they done that they might pervert the right ways of the Most High, that they might blind the eyes and harden the hearts of the children of men. And this is why everyone hates us, because they push that diabolical curse of Ham madness, knowing that we were Shemites. And them Hamites didn't say a damn word. They were right in step with the rest of Psalms 83. Wherefore thou seest that after the book have gone forth through the hands of the great and abominable church, that there are many plain and precious things taken away from the book, which is the book of the Lamb of the Most High. And after these plain and precious things were taken away, it goeth forth unto all the nations of the Gentiles. And after it goeth forth unto all the nations of the Gentiles, yea, even across the many waters which thou hast seen with the Gentiles, which have gone forth out of captivity, thou seest. Now we need to stop right here. Let's go to Gentiles. Now, this Gentiles right here, that's all nations. The book went out among all the nations, the Gentiles. But when we get to this Gentiles right here, that's the diaspora. Let's prove it. Which have gone forth out of captivity. When did the other nations go into captivity? To the four corners. This is why they despise John 7:33 through 36. We're about to bring that out further down the road. Let's start right here. The Gentiles which have gone out, which have gone forth out of captivity, thou seest, because of the many plain and precious things which have been taken out of the book, which were plain unto the understanding of the children of men, according to the plainness which is the Lamb of the Most High. Because of these things which are taken away out of the gospel, and the average Christian can't define the gospel without running to the back of the book. See, we know what the gospel is. The gospel is the good tidings for Yasharallah, but they don't eat the roll. The only thing they eat is Paul, and they really don't even study his apostles correctly. Because even he tells you that salvation and the covenants were for Yasharallah. Because of these things which are taken away out of the gospel of the Lamb, and exceedingly great, many do stumble. Exactly. So that lets you know that these Bibles and these transliterations can be a stumbling block. And that's the lesson that we did just the other day. But we still have knuckleheads. Well, you need to show me that in the scriptures. They tainted it. That's why you need the Ruach to truly have discernment. Yea, insomuch that Satan have great power over them. Nevertheless, thou beholdest that the Gentiles who have gone forth out of captivity and have been lifted up by the power of the Most High above all nations. Above all nations. We are not the same. Yasharallah is above all nations, upon the face of the land which is choice, and above all other lands, which is the land that the Most High have covenanted with the Father, that his seed should have for the land of their inheritance. That's what the brother spoke on the other day. The land is tied into the inheritance. This is why they keep pushing that. Well, you need to go back to Africa. And you blassos on social media keep pushing that trans-Pacific slave trade. Oh, well, we all came from Africa. That's a lie. There's no way they pushed that many people from one continent to another on wooden boats. And the majority of the people that push that nonsense, they've never even been on the Atlantic Ocean. I've been on a boat rolling at 90 degrees in the Atlantic, and that was a steel tank lander. So you think they did that with wooden ships? Come on, man. You'll make it make sense. Wherefore thou seest that the Most High thy power will not suffer that the Gentiles will utterly destroy the mixture of thy seed, which are among thy brethren. Scattered. And that shows right there that we don't believe in that only Black Americans can be saved. We're Negro only. Before you come over here talking shit, you really better understand that we are highly well studied over here. And honestly, I enjoy doing these. I really don't like to do them, But sometimes some of y'all just need to get cut off at the knees and left leaking in these streets with this spiritual sword, coming over here talking this nonsense. Wisdom of Solomon 1:9. For inquisition shall be made into the counsels of the ungodly. The sound of his words shall come into the Most High for the manifestation of his wicked deeds. But he comes over here, oh, you teach hate, but won't go into the history of his church. Redlining, the Inquisitions, the papal bulls, all of the madness that his church spread across the globe, then he wants to come over here like he's a beacon of light. Here's a source that I brought out before. I'm going to bring it out again. This is the Inquisition, a history. Let me get the publication date. Published in 1913 by Raphael Sabatini. Now, this is a history of the Inquisition. Let me maximize it a little bit so we can see it. It should be sufficiently clear from this that, notwithstanding the racial apathy between Spaniard and Jew, notwithstanding the religious spirit so very ardent in the people of Spain, serving to aggregate beyond all reason that hatred of the Israelite, the Inquisition, as Torquemada understood and controlled it, was very far from being desired by them, that this grim institution should have contrived so firmly to establish itself upon Spanish soil and to wield there a power such as it wielded in no other Catholic country of Europe. So it doesn't matter if you're Protestant, Seventh-day Adventist, Mormon, non-denominational, Episcopalian, you all fall under the umbrella of Catholicism, the abominable church. Was due entirely to the brothers of Saint Dominique and the fanaticism of Torquemada playing upon the bigotry and acquisitiveness of the sovereigns. So, Roman Catholicism, the church, Christianity has always had a hatred for the Israelite. Now, notice it says Israelite. It doesn't say Jew. It says Israelite right here. That's all of us, because they knew that the southern kingdom was in the third part, and the fourth part was the northern kingdom. Now let's go to 1 Nephi 14. Now, I would read all of this, but once again, I have to prepare for a lesson this evening. But let's just hit the points. Let's find these points. Let's hit 10. And he said, Behold unto me. And he said unto me, Behold, there are saved two churches only. One is the church of the Lamb of the Most High, and that would be our awakening. And the other is the church of the devil. That's Christianity. Wherefore, whoso belongeth not to the church of the Lamb of the Most High, belongeth to that great church, which is the mother of abominations. And she is the whore of all the earth. So if she is a mother of abominations, she gave birth to baby abominations. These are all your Christian denominations. And it came to pass that I looked, and behold, the whore of all the earth, Christianity, the biggest religion on the planet, beheld the whore of all the earth, and she sat upon many waters, and she had dominion over all the earth among all nations, kindreds, tongues, and people. Christianity is entwined in every faction of Western society. And even if you aren't a part of Western society, if you do business with her, you are still in league with her. This is why she sat upon minty waters. Do trust whatever business that you handle on this earth, eventually it will go through Christian hands. You may not know who, but do trust a Christian will touch it. And it came to pass that I beheld the church of the Lamb of the Most High, and its numbers were few because of the wickedness and abominations of the whore who sat upon many waters. Nevertheless, I beheld that the church of the Lamb, who were the saints of the Most High, were also upon all face of the earth, and their dominions upon the face of the earth were small because of the wickedness of the great whore whom I saw. They were killing us. That's why we were cut off from being a nation. It wasn't just us forgetting our history. They were slaughtering us. The lynchings, the murders, the rapes, all types of crimes. But he wants to come here and say, well, you are teaching hatred. But he won't address his history. And it came to pass that I beheld a great mother of abominations that gathered together multitudes upon the face of the earth among all nations of the Gentiles to fight against the Lamb of the Most High. Psalms 83. This is the second stick. This is the history of the northern kingdom, and it ties together with the history of the southern kingdom. The book of more man, more it's right in our face. More man in the Bible. Let's go to John chapter 7, 13 through 36. Then said Yahweh Shai unto them. Now, that name was in the Blue Letter Bible online. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it several times. But now all of a sudden it's not there. Then said Yahweh Shai unto them, yet a little while am I with you, and then I go unto him that sent me. Ye shall seek me and shall not find me. And where I am, thither ye cannot come. Then said the Jews among themselves. Now let's listen to this scripture because these Christians always run from it. Whither will he go that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed amongst the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? So he is going to the diaspora amongst the Gentiles. First time used. The nations and teach the Gentiles, the dispersed, behaving as Gentiles. That's why they were considered lost sheep, because they didn't know who they were, because it was unlawful to call yourself a Jew. History, history, but they don't like to talk about that history. What matter of saying is this, that he said, ye shall seek me and shall not find me, and where I am, thither ye cannot come. Now, we brought this out just the other day, but once again, we see these devils in the spirit before they even arrive. First Enoch 104:10. And now I know this mystery, for they, the sinners, shall alter the just verdict, and many sinners will take it to heart. They will speak evil words and lie, and that's just what that devil did when he came over here. And they will invent fictitious stories and write out my scriptures on the basis of their own words. And would that have been, and would that they have written down all the words truthfully on the basis of their own speech, and neither alter nor take away from my words, all of which I testified to them from the beginning. And that's what they did. They got hold of our Hebraic scrolls, transliterated it, gave their own interpretation, and gave us a Bible. That's why we study all of the hidden texts. That's why I always pray to the Heavenly Father to send the dove down so I don't lean on my own understanding and speak my own words. Exodus 11:7. But against any of the children of Yasharallah shall not a dog move his tongue. I hope you're listening, because when I'm done with this lesson, I'm putting it right underneath your comment. But against the children of Yasharallah shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Most High doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Yasharallah. Y'all keep talking against us. And for anybody that's been on TikTok, you know that meth head Indian, you know who I'm talking about. The one with the rotten grill, the rotten teeth. He kept creating account after account after account, just disparaging us. And I went to his account and I left this comment. I said, look, man, the days of you heathens speaking ill about us and the Most High not enacting vengeance on our behalf immediately, those days are done. We are not under these curses. He scoffed and he mocked. I think maybe like 2 weeks later, the Most High sent the burial and burned down his teepee, burned him out of his home. But yet he's still on social media talking nonsense and wagging his tongue against us. Psalms 83, all of you going to learn. You better cleave. Either cleave or meet your destruction. 2nd Ezra 6:56. And once again, we know these scriptures already. This is for that reprobate demon that came over here scoffing. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing, nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth out from a vessel, that falleth from a vessel. If you have a gallon of water and you spill a drop, it ain't no thing. You're not missing it. That's how the Most High looks at these other nations. But you don't believe in my white. You had to make a white Jesus because of scriptures like this. You had to. Now let's confirm that with Isaiah. Isaiah 40:17. All nations before him are as nothing. All nations before him are as nothing. But Paul said, the New Testament said, all nations before him are as nothing. You are not going to make our Heavenly Father double-minded. And they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. How are you less than nothing? Because if you're nothing, you really don't exist. How are you less than something that doesn't exist? Vain. It's the vanity of these heathens to come over here. Jeremiah 3:23. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in the Most High, our power is the salvation of Yasharallah. This is why these heathens, they know what scriptures not to go to. This is why they stay in those epistles and they skip around through the New Testament. They despise the law and the prophets, as they should. That's their goal. That was their purpose. The law was only given to us. It has nothing to do with these heathens. Psalms 50, 16 and 17. Like I said before, we know these. This is for that reprobate demon. But unto the wicked, I need for you to listen, heathen. But unto the wicked, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seest thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. Went around pushing the Bible and did the total opposite of what it said. Castest my words behind thee. We keep telling you, man, that the Bible, our holy writ, has nothing to do with you heathens. So the more you keep coming over here, running off at the mouth, the worse your judgment shall be. All praises to the Most High. Shalom.